Hello everybody, today I'm gonna be reacting to the video called The Brutal Reality of the Tech Job Market by Nicholas Faciola, so make sure to follow him.
So, this is a video that I hoped I would never have to make, but I'm feeling very burnt out by the current tech market, and I feel like talking about it would be helpful for me, and hopefully, if you're in a similar position out there, maybe some of what I'm gonna say.
Just for the information, right? This is not my music, that's his music playing in the background. I wish the background music wasn't there.
Resonates with you, and we can all navigate this tough time together. So I've been actively looking for a job for about 2 months now.
2 months is not a lot of time. I know people who've been, looking for a job for like two years. 2 months is nothing, absolutely nothing. Well, just say like in modern, like in current job market, spending a whole year looking for a job is like a normal thing. Unfortunately, this is how it is, right? 1 year. Some people spend 1 year just to get a job offer. I would say like from 6 months to 1 year is like uh, average time people spend just to get a job offer. 2 months is absolutely nothing.
I've sent out 100 applications, and I've got 5 responses. Um, 4 of those responses didn't even lead to a second interview. I only got to the first interview. The one second interview I did have, I think I just felt a lot of pressure. And I ended up screwing up a leak code question that I should have known. And in fact, I did know right after the interview was over. I figured out the solution. So I was very frustrated with myself, but I think it's kind of fair, I guess, that I didn't get the job on that one, because when you've got hundreds of people looking for the same job all at the same time and everybody's equally qualified, the person who answers the question under stress is going to get the job, and I can respect that. Some of these other companies, though, I mean, man, like, they're just, the requirements they're asking for these candidates are just honestly unreasonable.
Just for the record, I've been a recruiter for the past, multiple years. Let me just put it that way, right? I have experience as a recruiter. I was a agency recruiter, so basically, we would recruit professionals on the behalf of other companies, right? Other companies, corporations, whatever. Let me just say that HR people, right? HR people don't know anything. They just include all that buzzwords in job description, but in reality, it has nothing to do with the actual job. Just so I'm just letting you know, okay? Uh, I know it feels like these requirements are like exaggerated, like it's not needed. It feels like it's too much requirement for certain positions, but in reality is they just include way too many buzzwords in job descriptions. That's it. You don't have to uh, you don't have to be fit 100% in most cases, right? And HR people, they're not tech people. They don't know anything. Unlike recruiters, man, I know who I'm hiring, right? I know who I'm hiring. I hired, I recruited people uh, for construction. I recruited people. When I say construction, I mean like civil engineers, like real legit engineers, okay? Not some blue collar workers. I hire people for construction engineers. I hire for petrochemical. I hire for software development. right? When I software development, and a lot of the times, um, they don't have to have like a lot of. I'm talking about this specific example. Software developers, in most cases, they don't have to have 5 years, 10 years of experience. They just gotta know what they're doing, and they gotta know the technology, tech stack, and that's it. Okay, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. Okay, generally okay. They ain't gotta have like 10 years. In some cases, I recruited software engineers without computer science degree. Some of them were mathematicians, like scientists, this type. But yeah, they are like from Stanford, but still, that's not a computer science degree. All right, uh, at least they gotta know how to code, and they gotta understand the infrastructure, and that's it. So again, all these requirements are not uh, they don't have to be uh, 100% met by a candidate, right?
Um, this other company that I got a response from, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but again, you could probably figure this out if you've applied there and you've got past the first round, because I think they do this for everybody. But they have like a really lengthy process to get through, even to get to actually talk to someone. They have 3 assessments you have to get past. All right. So this was for a Python engineer role.
Well, you know what? Python is not something that it is not like C++. It is not like Java. If you I hired quite a bit of people with Python experience, Python requirements. I'm gonna just tell you some straight up. Um, the reason why the recruitment process is so lengthy is way too many unnecessary people involved, like HR assistant, HR specialist, HR manager, operations manager, right? Way too many people involved. That will make the whole process lengthy, and it sucks, and I understand it.
Um, First, you have to do a written assessment, which ended up being like a 10-page essay of 38 questions they asked me in an email, just kind of explaining like my background and experience. But some of the questions in there were not even relevant to me now at all. Like it was asking about like how I was in high school, like what were my SAT scores like, things like that. And I'm like, I'm pretty far removed from that now, so I don't understand what that has to do with me as a candidate for a programmer now. But I did it anyways because I really need a job, right? So after that, I had to do another Python assessment, which I didn't get any feedback on. It wasn't like hacker rank style where the test cases are graded. No, you had to write your own test cases, and there was a multiple choice part as well. So I have no idea how I did. The other assessment they had was in like basically an IQ test, which honestly probably shouldn't even be legal. And I didn't get the results of that either. Just nothing. Like they gave me after they rejected me like a pamphlet kind of showing like, oh, were you at average, above average, below, but not like a definitive this is your score. So that was a little frustrating. And then after I had already sunk about like 25 hours into doing these assessments, the next day I get an email from the recruiter saying, well, you don't have the experience. It's like, I don't know why.
You don't have experience, man. Let me tell you something. This is some bullshit excuse. So again, HR people don't know anything about the specifics of the position of the role, and they need some to come up with something. So um, the candidate will get the results of the interview, right? They need to come up with something excuse why they rejecting you. All right. So basically, um, recruiter, or sorry, HR, right? They cannot tell if you have experience or not. All right. And sometimes I know the instances when uh, it's apparent, you know, it is it's obvious that the candidate has experience, right? It is in resume, it is on LinkedIn profile or whatever. It's obvious that the candidate has an experience, but since they cannot tell you specifics, since they cannot tell you why they're rejecting, or in most cases they just basically don't know why they're rejecting you, they just want to reject you, right? So they need to come up with some bullshit excuse to reject you, right? Sometimes it's because of the salary, right? Sometimes your salary expectations are way too high, way above the budget, right? um and they cannot tell you that your salary expectations are way too high, right? They just come up with some bullshit excuse like you don't have experience, right? But it's in resume, right? You can look it up. It's in resume. You could have said like I got the experience, right? But again, that's a bullshit excuse.
Why you would make someone go through all that if you're going to reject them on their experience outright after you can literally find that in my resume? And one of the things that I've just found to be a very frightening realization navigating all this is just like how disposable you are as an employee at these companies.
100%. They can replace you within, I don't know, within an hour.
um I mean, I'll just share my own experience here. The reason that I'm even navigating the tech market right now in the first place is because I was part of a mass layoff at a big tech company. And,
I
the
think I
way
know
that
about
it
the
all
company.
happened was our third level manager invited my entire domestic team to it's a Teams call with HR. So pretty much at that point, I knew I was cooked because you do not get invitations to meet with your third level manager that say mandatory with HR unless you're cooked. I mean, like, that's just the reality of the situation. But of course, you have to go. And then, yeah, once we got there, it was very short and to the point. It was, you've been impacted, and here are your resources. Do you have any questions? Of course, nobody has any questions because that's a lot to process, in a split second like that. And it's so surreal to watch, like, this team I had of this great engineering talent across the board, from all levels at my like junior level up to the senior level, just all like that, unemployed. I mean, absolutely crazy experience. And I mean, of course, like the company, I'd say, they try to do their best. They gave us, a severance. It wasn't like we were fired the next day. We had some time to pass on our work that we've been working on for the last, years over to the people who are going to, take over for us. So I guess they don't have to do that, so that's nice of them. But it's just like, wow. I mean, and then, the next day it was international teams that I worked with who were also impacted. So many great engineers that I knew. And I mean, this was only my first job, so this is my whole network, just all unemployed. I mean, absolutely.
So the reason of mass layoffs is to please Wall Street. You know what I mean? So they basically cutting the costs so that they can show their investors that they're not wasting money, all that stuff. Right? Once the company starts cutting the costs, getting rid of expenses, uh, on the records, on quarterly reports, they can show the investors, and potential investors that they are very effective and efficient with the funds, with money, with capital. Yeah, so they would use this money to invest in some other projects. Currently, it's AI or AI data centers, right? So it's just to please the investors, please Wall Street. Yeah, the reality of matter is they just like pleasing the Wall Street, and that's it.
Crazy experience. I never ever thought that anything like this would even happen to me. But it did. And the truth of the matter is, you need to, I'm not saying don't like put your best effort forward to be qualified and to have skills, but the reality is that none of it had anything to do with anyone's skill set. It was all about business. And unfortunately, because of that, then great engineers and other people I work, other managers, all just got impacted. So I don't know, man. I mean, even right now, I mean, it's been 2 months, so I've had some time to process it, but it's still scary thought that something like that could even happen. And then the other really like crappy part to this is that I can't speak for the more senior people, but for someone like me who's a junior and they're in their 20s, I have some savings, but I don't really have time to like sit here and like dwell on this too much. I maybe gave myself a day to kind of mope, and then the next day I was back on LinkedIn. I was on the grind applying. I'm freaking doing Leet Code.
If you lost your job, get your unemployment benefits. Right? If you are a citizen, uh, I don't know where you are, but if you are a citizen and you got a full rights, apply for unemployment benefits. And that's it. There is nothing wrong about being on unemployment. Just know your rights. Uh, it's okay to get unemployment benefits. Know your rights. It is not a lot of money, but it will help you to get by.
Working on my resume, everything, trying to figure out what projects can I do, what like certifications can I go get. I mean, that's really how I started the whole like SQL 50 thing. Is I'm like, well, now I need to get prepared for interviews again, so I need to do this. And just like the pressure and the grind and the constant rejection, I mean, it all just starts to get like pretty overwhelming after a little while. You start to get imposter syndrome because you're out here applying to jobs that you are overqualified for, and you're getting ghosted and rejected. And I mean, really, I guess the reason that I'm even making this video is to say, like, man, like, not that you don't need to upskill and do everything you can to make yourself the best version of yourself that you can be. However, if you are like getting rejected, you are getting, ghosted, it's probably not you. Unfortunately, I mean, and not.
It's a market. Well, market laws are the most brutal laws of anything, right? So it's a market. Market dictates its rules. It is what it is. You gotta accept that, and all get prepared for this type of situations.
It's like, I guess, a good and a bad thing, because it makes, I guess, you have like some confidence in yourself knowing that you're doing the right thing. But just, man, it's so sad to know that like this is the state of the market that we're in right now, where you have tons and tons of very qualified people all competing for the same jobs, and a lot of it's going to come down to who knew the right person, or just being in the right place at the right time. So, I mean, again, I'm not saying don't put forth your best effort, but also recognize that like some of these like rejections or these feelings of imposter syndrome that you're getting. I mean, it's not you. It is just unfortunately the state of the market that we're in right now. Anyways, so I know that probably most of you did not subscribe for this type of content. I just felt like, hopefully my experience could resonate with someone out there who's struggling in this market right now, and also just help me stay motivated, because I'm trying to do the best I can, trying to keep my head up, trying to keep doing projects, keep doing LeetCode, keep studying for certifications, keep applying. Just honestly, just keep keeping my head down and keep pushing, man. I mean, I need this channel kind of helps me stay motivated. So really that's why I'm making this video, and hopefully I can resonate with some of you. Anyways, if you're in the same boat, leave a comment below. I'm sure everyone would, love to have some support in this time. Hang in there. I mean, even if it feels like right now we're all just kind of, screaming into a void, we all will get through this. I personally believe that like each and every one of us who is committed to this has the skills to get a job even in this market. It's just all about patience and persistence. So we can do this. Anyways, I will get back to the regularly scheduled coding content. I just wanted to make this kind of video, and I'm sure I'm trying not to ramble too much, but I could keep talking about other stuff if people like this. So anyways, thanks so much for watching.
All right. It's a short video, but I think that it is very useful. If you are in the same situation, please know that it is temporary situation and everything will get better soon. All right. Thanks for watching for this reaction video. Please follow me. Follow Nicholas Facciola. Yeah. Hit subscribe and leave a comment down below.